The 1960s were a golden age for westerns, a time when the genre was evolving beyond the straightforward tales of good guys in white hats and bad guys in black. If you think westerns are all dusty shootouts and saloon brawls, these 1960s gems will make you think again. Here are some western movies from the 1960s that are actually worth watching. Set in 1913 in Texas, this epic revisionist western introduces you to a traditional gang of outlaws who realize that their era has come to an end and thus wish to retire quietly. Through The Wild Bunch, director Sam Peckinpah not only bids farewell to a century, but also to a genre that romanticizes life on the frontier by showing a less simplistic reality. The depiction of graphic violence and crude language in this movie was very controversial. But in time, The Wild Bunch came to be known for crafting an aesthetic that is still reflected upon today. A genuine popcorn entertainment, lauded by critics as a spaghetti western made in Hollywood, Hang 'em High is a revisionist western that follows retired Marshal Jed Cooper, who finds himself surrounded by a posse of 9 men. After surviving the lynching, he tries to uncover the identities of the cowboys who decided to punish him for a crime he did not commit. With vengeance on his mind, he wages a one-man war, tracks down each outlaw, and exacts his own brand of justice upon them. The movie stars Clint Eastwood as the main character. He delivers yet another phenomenal role, showing the personal toll of frontier violence. 4 men reunite in their hometown of Clearwater, Texas, after their mother's death to settle her estate. Having grown into distinguished men, they have regrets and resentments, but none bigger than a ranch embroiled in a conflict. Set against the backdrop of a lawless Texas in 1898, the Sons of Katie Elder assembles a dream Western cast. With John Wayne and Dean Martin as leads, and stars like Martha Heyer, James Gregory, Michael Anderson Jr., and James Gregory as supports, the movie brings to life the sweeping vistas and ranch landscapes in great fashion. How the West Was Won is an epic Western that follows 3 generations of pioneers through the history of Western expansion. Hailed as one of the greatest road movie anthologies, it brought the Old West to Cinerama screens in the most spectacular fashion. Big-name actors like James Stewart, John Wayne, and Gregory Peck, and unexpected cameos, gave each segment an intensity and gravitas. The Great Silence is a spaghetti western set in a lawless Utah town before the Great Blizzard of 1899. Silence, a mute gunslinger haunted by the murder of his parents, lives a life where his passion for justice drives him to fight bounty hunters. While revenge is his ultimate goal, when a poor young widow seeks his help to set the score with Loco, a formidable leader of a bounty killer gang that killed her husband, Silent confronts him and his militia of cutthroats. The Great Silence leaves an indelible mark on the genre by being grand, bleak, uncompromising, and yet immensely beautiful. The striking grandeur reminds you of a Sergio Leone film, and each confrontation drips with existential dread. Starring the iconic American Western actor John Wayne alongside Edward Asner, Howard Hawks' epic Western movie is loosely based on Harry Brown's novel The Stars in Their Courses. El Dorado is thrilling, exciting, and full of action, as can be expected from most films starring John Wayne, as he is expected to ride in to save the day. This is the middle film in Howard Hawks' brilliant Western trilogy with Wayne in similar roles, preceded by the masterpiece Rio Bravo and followed by the director's last film, Rio Lobo. This violent, political, brutal, and somewhat gothic film follows a former Union soldier, Django, played Franco Nero, whose journey takes him to a southern border town. His entrance, as he drags a coffin hiding his machine gun, is among the most memorable of the subgenre. After saving the local prostitute from being burned at the stake, he finds himself caught between the KKK and a group of Mexican bandits. Unique in style and unrestrained in its depiction of violence, the movie genuinely sets standards for rough storytelling that is also laced with heart and humor. The Magnificent Seven is set in a small village that has just been attacked by the outlaw Calvera. Consequently, in order to protect themselves, 3 Mexican farmers head out to buy some guns. When they are advised to hire professional gunmen instead, they manage to recruit a group of skilled fighters. With a brilliant all-star cast including Yul Brynner, Steve McQueen, and Charles Bronson, and one of the most iconic theme songs in movie history, The Magnificent Seven is just a sheer classic. Once Upon a Time in the West was directed by the legendary creator of the spaghetti western subgenre, Sergio Leone. It stars Henry Fonda as the main character, Charles Bronson as his enemy, Claudia Cardinale, and Frank Wolf. As the plot unravels and more twists are discovered, we can't help but become hooked on the characters and speculate on how the story will end. One of the greatest movies in the history of cinema, Once Upon a Time in the West, is a beautiful, grand depiction of the birth of modern America. The hero in our last Western on the list is one Rooster Cogburn, whom young Mattie Ross hires following her father's murder. Looking for revenge, Mattie asks Cogburn to help her track down the man responsible. Together, they go on a dangerous and exciting journey to bring justice to Mattie's father, though Cogburn has some eccentric hunting and tracking techniques. True Grit became a well-known classic within the Western genre and is possibly one of Wayne's most recognizable characters. Its success eventually led to a surprisingly well-received modern remake by the Coen brothers and has gone down in history as one of the best Western movies, not just of its decade but of all time.